Monday, 10 o'clock, start of a brand new week. I'm hoping to be pretty productive today. Hey Karen, thanks for joining. I love the Karens because I can always count on you guys. I'm just waiting for the other Karen to pop on. Anyway, hey Mom, thanks for joining. Oh, there you go, there's the other Karen. I feel like I can start now. I'm just waiting for Terry and then we'll be all good. And Sandra, hello. Anyway, well, I'll just give you guys a little chit chat while people are getting on about the weekend. And for all the moms out there, I hope you had a great day yesterday. Hey Sandy, you know what? It was a really nice, mellow weekend, and I made my boys go on a neighborhood walk, which was hysterical because the whole entire time I kept thinking, why did I ask them to come with me? I wanted a little bit of a peaceful walk, and they were at each other. They're 18 months apart, so they thought it was hysterical to throw rocks at each other the whole entire way that we were walking in the neighborhood. So anyway, I'm sure my neighbors were appalled because they're usually inside on their phones the whole entire day. That was my birthday treat. That was my birthday was last week. The Mother's Day treat to myself was to just have a little bit of, hey Heidi, is to have a little bit of fun with my family. So we did that. So to all the moms, I hope you guys had a great day, and that you Zoomed a lot with your family. I know we Zoomed with my mom yesterday. That was really fun. So a few things I did last week I wanted to fill you guys in was I did a few Instagram lives, and I don't know if anybody was over there or not, but I was working on this painting behind me that I'm going to work on a little bit with you guys today, and it was so fun. So this is just a little background on the painting. The painting was a repaint, and hey Donna and Nancy, oh and Terry. Okay, I can feel like the party is here. We can get started. I hope you guys have your vino and your tea, and I just had 2 cups of tea, so I'm feeling ready to go. So this painting behind me has been reworked from a pink painting that was a lotus, a semi-lotus, and so when I was doing our Lotus Mandalas, I had the idea to repaint it and put on a proper mandala, which is the 8 petals. So right here I have our 8 petals, and I've been really playing a lot with it. And in the Instagram live, I was working in this section right here. I'll get you guys a little closer. I didn't want you to be so close to me that you'd be like, what? So we're gonna move you a little closer. Okay, so I was, hold on, I gotta move other stuff around here. So one of the things that I love to do is work on these rich, deep backgrounds. And you can't see because of the camera, but there's a lot going on back here. So if you saw it live, you would see there's all the little layers come through. And how I like to do this is with acrylic inks. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys hysterical. Okay, this is my palette. And this is yesterday, so it's somewhat dry, but I do have a little piece of plastic wrap because if you ever put too much down on your inks, just go ahead and put some saran wrap over it, and then I can use it today. So the inks, which I love working with, I'll give you guys, I know some of you guys work with these. So this is the High Flow, and you can also use these dropper inks. But what I like to do is put my inks down and blend it with my hands and get a really smooth, you know, dreamy sort of feel and look. And I did a video, and I posted that already, where you can see me working with my hands. And if you don't want to work with your skin, you can use gloves. There's also a product you can buy that's like a barrier cream, so you can do that. And so I take a brush. I'm going to do a demo on something else today on this, but I wanted to show you how I did this background. So I take a brush, and I work flat and put in my inks with the paintbrush, and then I just start blending like this and use a couple different colors. And I'm really loving this green right here. And so when I was doing this live, I kept thinking I wanted to have a word in here, and I didn't know what I wanted it to be. And I don't even know if this word will stay, but for now it's staying. And so the word, I just asked everybody who's watching, and I need to go back and figure out, but somebody said, how about serenity? And I thought it was perfect. Perfect for, you know, Lotus Mandala painting, and perfect for, you know, wanting to feel the serenity and just a calming place. So what I did was I used chalk to get that down, and then I went over it with a little tiny brush. You could also do your lettering with a paint pen, but I just felt like I wanted to use the brush so it's not so perfect. And you know, I don't know, I'll see how it goes, because I'm not close to finishing this, and so who knows, it may get covered up and a whole other word might go in there. But what I thought I would do today with you guys is, I'm gonna make sure you can see down here. Okay, so what I want to do is, there's these areas here that have a lot of underneath things going on, but also a lot of color. And I don't want this to be a super busy piece, so I have to kind of keep that in mind. So as I'm working on my layers, I often concentrate on one area. I think about one area. I may go take my brush and dabble up here and come back down, but I'm still, my mind is thinking about what I want to do. And so today I want to think about, what do I want to do here? Because if I think about all the sections, then I will get overwhelmed and I will get frustrated, because there's definitely areas of this painting that I know I need to work on, but I won't be able to do it all. And I won't be able to do it all in one session. So just a little tip, when you're painting and you're thinking about stuff and it is overwhelming, just take a section and work on that section until you feel good, and then you go to another one. Okay, so what I want to do today is try to see if I can find my, okay, I'm going to show you this one. It's still not done. Now I have 3 paintings in my on my wall. Okay. So this is almost done. I really liked how these white lines showed up, and this was sort of something new this year that I've been really playing around with. And so one of the reasons I don't want to cover these up completely is I really like having what's underneath show through on these white lines. Okay, so I want to do that with this painting. And think about, where do I want to have some of these lines? And so I was, oopsie, so hold on. Okay, so I wanted to do a couple patterns in here and in here. And so without going right to paint, especially with you guys, and make a mess, I'm going to grab my chalk. I had a good piece of chalk, but of course I can't find it. So I just use regular chalk. I could do it on the sidewalk too, but and then, you know, this is sort of really flat. Be nice if it had an edge to it, but let me do that real quick. Easier to draw with. So I'm going to do this with chalk because I kind of really want to make sure I've got my composition right. If I was doing an earlier layer, maybe I wouldn't care so much. And I'm thinking you guys can see down there. So hold on, let me just get my glasses on. Debbie had a question. Love that way, Posca pen. Oh, Debbie, you know, this is actually, this is Posca pen. Yes. And then the letters I just did with a paintbrush. But I often do pen work, not to jump around too much, you guys, but I often do pen work when I do my writing. Paint pens are awesome. Okay, so I'm taking my chalk and I am just gonna go for it. So I sort of wanna have these leaf, I don't even know what you're gonna call it. And in my class, I don't even think I have a word for it, but they're like little leaf things. shapes. And remember, it's acrylic, so if you don't like it, paint over it. I don't like that down there. And so also what I like to do is wrap around on my sides right here. So I'm still going to chalk this in, and then later when I go and paint on it, I'll show you that. I will also make sure I'm going right on my sides too, because I don't want to go back to my sides like an afterthought. I want to be painting on my sides at the same time. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that I'm getting these details inside the leaf pattern, because then I might go back in and with some ink and darken in here. But I want to make sure I'm capturing all that work I did with all the little dots and lines. So I've got this one here, and I don't want to do one exactly the same over here. So I was looking at chairs online last night. Oh my gosh, you guys, I want to get some yummy velour rolling chair. This one I have is a little uncomfortable. So I don't want it to be perfect. So I'm going to start my line. Let's see if you guys can see. I'm going to go like this. Hey, Susanna. Okay, so I'm going to go like this and follow it through to the other side. Just so it's not perfect. You know, I don't like things to be so in line. I do like things symmetrical at times. Like for instance, I measured where this lotus was going to be. I really wanted it to be perfectly centered. Not so much these have to be perfect, but you know, these leaf patterns can be more organic. So I'm just doing that, just so it's got some interest down here, and then I'll be able to go in and not have this so busy. Maybe I'll darken that. And then at the same time, I'm gonna move this back up a little bit. Choo-choo. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to bring some of that line up here. So I've got the lines. So these are going to be the white lines. And I'm not too sure if I'll do a leaf up here, but I just want to bring the line work. Maybe I'll make this one like that. And it's hard doing this like on the spot, let me tell you. Okay, so I think I'll do a couple more like that. Okay, so once I've got my chalk down, I am using my titanium white, and bear with me so I can get my palette. I'm using the white for now, and you could do any ink really. And the reason I'm using the inks, okay, and the other thing I'm using is a smaller brush, I'll show you. But the reason I'm doing the inks and not a thicker paint is because I don't want it to get chunky. Okay, so I'm using a really thin small brush. Let's see, Karen, I have used a paddle just to, oh yes. I need I need well padded for my butt, okay, and my back. I feel like I don't want to be slouchy slouch. All right, so I'm going to bring this down here a little bit so you guys can see this. What I love to do too is, so you can leave your chalk on here, and I do this in my class, Colorful Joy, but you can paint right over. Now normally, I would be doing this on a table. Whoops. Okay, so you just rub it out real quick. Rub that white right off, can't even see. It is a little harder to do it not on a table, and a little bit wonky with my head, but. And then once I have my paint down, I can then go over with a paint pen if I wanted my lines to be thin. So a little tip that I'm doing too is I'm holding this hand. Can you guys see that? I think so. I'm holding this hand and this to hold this hand up to kind of steady my wrist. Okay. So I spent most of the weekend gardening. It was so awesome. And my hands are really hurting, but I pulled a lot of weeds out. I hope you guys got some gardening in. I know on the East Coast you're waiting for that cold weather to end. But maybe you're looking at catalogs to order stuff. And the real exciting news is it's supposed to actually rain here. We usually never have rain this time of year, so I'm thrilled for a little rain. I'm not a big fog fan, but I do like a little rain. Okay, so I'm taking these leaves and I'm just drawing, I'm painting on them over the side. It's so wonky over here. I'll have to redo that one. So once I have this on, I'm going to do some up here. The great thing about the chalk is, I don't know if I'll be able to do it while you guys are on today because this ink has to dry, which doesn't take long. But I love that you can wipe that chalk right off, paint right over it, and wipe off anything that's left behind. I really like doing these white lines. I just feel like it adds a little bit of fun and whimsy to your piece. It makes things a little bit lighter. Okay, I'm just gonna go up there for right now. I am at a really weird angle, so forgive me if it's a disaster. I'll check that out later. Okay, so these leaves over here, these ones are just free flowing without a stem. I don't want to do a stem on every corner because I think that would just be a little bit too perfect. So when I do my painting, I often do inks. I'm going to go this a little bit. Let's see. I often do inks and acrylic paints at the same time in amongst my layers. It's just a great other medium to use instead of using water. You can see some of the chalk just like powder just coming right off. And my brush isn't perfect. And if your ink drips, you guys, if you're holding up if your canvas is upright like this one, not to worry if it drips, that's kind of fun. Okay, so I'm doing my stem. And so, let's see. Maybe just hold it up a little bit. Okay, hold on. Oh, Suze, you're so funny. Yes, I'm loving working on this. She wants me to give it to her. Maybe I will. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows if I'll paint right over this one again? I'm not too sure. So I've got this going on. The other thing that's really fun with a little tiny brush and the same ink is to do these little tiny dots, and I like to do them in different areas. So just a little bit, it adds some interest, you know, maybe I'll touch it there. And so later this afternoon, I'll probably go back in and start to add some inks in here. Okay, and really let the inside of this come out. Or I might just leave everything back there. I just have to kind of play around with it. One thing I did want to do with you guys too, and I'll show you, is to get this lotus a little bit more white. And you guys might think it's white now, but what I don't want it to be is it seems a little jarring right now with some of these oranges. And so I really want to make sure I've got, you know, a nice white simple lotus so that the background can be as busy as it wants to be. So right now I'm just going to touch up. Again, I'm using just that titanium ink. It's high flow. It's really probably not even called ink, but I call it ink. And it's like water, but white. So I'm just going in here. I'm just touching up some of the blue ink from yesterday that have gotten on some of the petals. Okay, I'm just going to go like that. And then I'm going to use my finger painting, and just hit this again. I've hit this a few times. I definitely don't want to have it solid, but I don't think I can get you guys closer. Let's see if I can. I'm going to move the table. Hang on. Whoopsie. You don't want to see me. There we go. Okay. Straighten it up. Okay. So I've got the ink on my hand, and I'm just going in, and the real nice thing about working with acrylics, with the high flow, with your inks, is that you can really just keep rubbing it, and it's so transparent. There's so many fun underneath things happening. So I want to be mindful of not to get it completely white, but I do want to sort of tone down some of these reds, some of the oranges. Might be too much. Oh, I just spilled on the floor. And so I'm going to go in. I'll show you, like, you can, and if you did this and you felt like, oh God, I covered it up and I don't want to cover it up, you can go in. Let's see if I can do this right now. I kind of like that, but you could go in and just wipe it away. So you want to do that fast. But already what's kind of fun is that that orange that was brighter is just a little bit less bright, which is what I was going for. And I still want to keep a little bit of that orange. So here's another fun thing to do also is, let's see if I can do it fast enough, is taking my skewer, and I know there's that orange piece right there. So now I have a little bit of interest in this little orange blob, but it's not so bright. So I'll do this on a few more. I would say I probably, on this painting already from the old painting, I probably have about 15 layers. So I'm going to go back over that area that I just wiped off. I just wanted to show you that. I love how you can see this blue coming through. It's very, I'm trying to think of the word. It's like it's just to me like a little bit of a magical layer. I like to do my girls' faces this way, where I use more high flow than I use thick paint, because I love that sort of airy, fairy lightness feel. Airy fairy. Okay, and do this. Uh-oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. That would be a first on my live, so hopefully you don't have to see that, hear that. You definitely don't want to see my sneeze. That would be terrible. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to just do a little bit of this, and then I'm going to show you guys a couple other things I'm working on. So what I'm doing is just bringing in some more whites. I'm going to probably do the same thing here. I'm still deciding. You guys can let me know what you think. Okay, now I'm going to push you back. Back. Okay, I'm still deciding on the color here for this red flower. I'm not 100% sure I want it to be red, and I don't know the answer to this color. It's kind of bugging me, and I think what I need to do is ignore the flower, like I was saying earlier. It's just like pick the area I want to work on. At first I was going to cover this flower up, but I'm really starting to like the details that's going on in here. And for those who were on my live last week on Instagram, the word love, L-O-V-E, upside down, is right here in this petal. So I really want to figure out a way to keep that and not cover that over. So I think I'm liking this one white, this flower white, and I have to sort of make sure I'm balancing and not making it too busy, seeing as it is called serenity. So that's like a nice calm word. I don't want it to be so crazy. So these are some of the things that are in my head, as you guys can imagine. It's a little bit cuckoo, but you know, that's how I sort of paint. I work with sections, and I spent the weekend really going into the background and building up this sort of dreamy, lush, you know, watery feel. And now I will hit little areas of other parts to this painting. And today I really feel like I need to work on this bottom piece. Now I could come back to you guys later and you'll see maybe this one is gone because it's too busy. I already feel like it might be a little bit busy because it's right next to this lotus. So again, the nice thing about acrylics is I can just paint right over it. And I'll show you a little bit of the sides if it's not too close. So when I'm working, like I was showing earlier, like I will bring that leaf over here. Here's part of the flower that's down there. So when I'm painting this flower, you'll be able to see it when you walk in a room, and then you'll be able to, it's like invites you into the story. Let's see what's on the other side. Oh good, I did some, I did some of that. So I've got my pretty sky blue, and this petal is still a little wonky, but the petal is there. And thank you, Debbie. And I've got my new leaf that I worked with you guys today, and it will continue on the sides. So that is what's happening. Okay, I'm gonna push this back. Let me know if you have any questions about that. I'm gonna show you some other things that I've got. Oh, I mean, there's my husband. Should I ask him if he wants to like hop on? Say hi, everybody. Oh God, he'd be so mad. Okay, so did I show you guys this? I don't think I did, but I'm also working on, I'm really close right here. Like I've all the room I have. Let's see what Nancy says. I find it so calming. Oh, thanks, Nancy. I'll tell my children that. I don't know if they think I'm calming, but this is the board. I have 2 to show you. The heart, well, I have 3 to show you. I didn't even think about that, but all right, so this is a art board. It's made out of wood, and I do think I think I talked to you guys about this a little bit. So this right now only has 2 layers on it. It has the words that I paint first, and it's with oil pastels, and then I put the inks down second. And it's so interesting to me. Can you guys see how shiny it is? It's so different. I can't tell if I love it yet. I have to really work on it. I'll let you guys know if I love it. It's different, but it's fun because it's a different texture. You hang it up, you don't have to frame it. So I'm not sure where this is going, but I just wanted to show you that's sort of another little project. It's the same wood panel as this heart that I did. And thanks, Debbie. The heart is collage. It's already coming off a little bit. When this one is finished, I will definitely put some matte medium over it, because when you work with mixed media and you want to make sure, I mean, maybe not so much in your art journals, but you really want to make sure that you put some mixed media over it to protect it. So I keep looking at this. I have it like right there hanging, and I really think there's not much more I want to do. I'm liking this background right here, so I just feel like the inside needs something. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll end up putting a word on there. Scout just came in. I wonder if he'll visit us. But okay, so here's what I was thinking this morning is I was smart enough to tape off the sides in painter tape. So when I'm done with this piece, I'll see that nice, beautiful wood. But guess what? I totally forgot to do that on this one. So this one will have paint along the sides. It will be like my canvases. Okay, and now this one, so these are like, I have so many projects that I have all over the place that I look at and I pick up. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna put it closer because you can see I chalked in a heart. I don't have any idea what I'm doing with this one, except it reminded me the inspiration I got from this one was to do like a little forest. And this is like a little tiny path going into some trees and on ground, and that's as far as I got. I have chalked in a heart, but I don't think it's going to stay a heart. So it's another thing I got to work with and see. I don't know if you could tell, but there's a gold. I used, oh yeah, you can. Look at shiny. It is the gold, shoot. Oh, it's right here. Whoopsie. No, I don't know. There we go. Hopefully that didn't screw our live up. Who's calling me? I think it's at school. But anyway, I used some ink here to make that metallic shine. So that was really fun. And I'm trying to think what else I've got going on. Oh, I have another painting, My Girl, but I don't want to show you guys that today because I'm working on a surprise. And I'm going to show you guys, probably will leave that next week when I have it finished. And I hope you guys are creating. And if you're not creating, I hope you're gardening. And if you're not gardening, I hope you're having such a peaceful week for sure. And I really appreciate you guys hopping on with me. If you have any questions on the inks or the acrylics or the paintbrushes, let me know. And I know a bunch of you guys have signed up for my class, which is awesome. So if you have any supply questions, let me know. I use whatever I have, but I definitely will be putting a little order in, I think, for Blick, because I think I need some new paintbrushes, and why not, right? Little Mother's Day gift for myself. And I did order a fountain, a little fountain for the art studio, so hopefully I can show you guys that next week. And cleaning my art room. Okay, good. Debbie's cleaning her art room. I love it. I love making the biggest mess and then spending a few hours cleaning it. It's so therapeutic. I'll just make a big old mess, and it's fun. And Terry, thank you. I'm so glad you guys like that one. We'll see where it goes, and hopefully the word will stay. you know me, this whole thing could be a whole different color next time you see me, but I'm feeling good about it. And just remember, as you guys are painting, that you just need to let go of any frustrations. And if you have, but you can hold on to the frustration, but just work in sections, and then maybe you won't be so crazy overwhelmed. I know I was. Hold on, Debbie, you have a question I want to answer. A few hours, how about a few weeks? Well, I could spend weeks cleaning, but I'm not that neat. So you guys have a fantastic week. All right, and thank you so much for coming and joining me, and hopefully you guys saw most of that and it was all good. All right, and I'll see you next Monday, 10 o'clock PT. All right, stay safe. Mwah. Big hugs. See you soon. Bye.